What's going on, world? Brian Wright here, and you're now tuned into the Brian Wright Radio Show, where we offer value to the world to where we can change people's mindset, where they can become a better version of themselves, and they can go out there and serve the world to leave it a better place than where we found it. Today's topic is going to be work, and today I want to go to the Quran, and it has a scripture in there. I can't pronounce the name of the scripture, but I can quote it verbatim. It says, that man can have nothing but what he strives for, that the fruit of his striving will soon come in sight, then he will be rewarded with the reward complete. He will be rewarded with the reward complete. A man can have nothing but what he strives for. What are you striving for? What are you working towards? What are you doing with your day every day? Are you just sitting around waiting for things to come to you? Are you just sitting around waiting for somebody to bring you an opportunity? Are you just sitting around waiting for mom, for dad, for them to come save you and think they're going to give you a pep talk on what you need to do in order to succeed? Now, one thing that I'm learning is that when it comes to being successful, if you ain't got other successful people around you, you're going to have to teach yourself 9 times out of 10. And you know what you're going to have to do? That's going to require a lot of work. That's going to cause you to set goals and to strive for things. The only way that you can get the reward is if you strive for it, if you work towards it. That's what striving is. Every day you're working, trying to get towards a goal or a destination. But most of our problems is we want to get the reward, but we don't want to do the work. We want the quick results, but when it comes to the work, we don't want to do it. You know, I would love to sit here and tell you that I got pecs and biceps and triceps and all that stuff, but no, I don't. Not saying that I'm completely out of shape, but I could be in better. I could have a better, sculpture of a body, but you know what? It takes a lot of work. It's not for no half stepping. Not only do I have to go in there and lift, but I have to come up with a meal plan. I have to consume protein, and all that stuff takes a lot of work. I have to discipline myself. I might have to meal prep, but I just got to remember that I can't do the things that I want to do, which is eat fast food and stuff like that, which is probably why I don't do it. But that's the point in nature. Like, everything works, but nothing doesn't. Everything works, but nothing doesn't. There are plenty of ways where you can get to a destination. But if you don't never start on that destination, you'll never get there. If you're not thinking of strictly the work, like, you have to love the work. You got to understand, these people go and they throw a football 2,000, 1,000 times, and they shoot 1,000 jumpers. And people sing every day, and people do what they really want to do every day. I just got done taking a YouTube course. One thing they said is you got to upload every day. You have to be in love with the work. There was no point of that course, what I was learning on YouTube, that they said you're going to get to sit there and you're going to get to be lazy and you're not going to have to do no work. No, it rewards people who put up the most videos. It rewards people that has the most engaging content that are consistent. It's going to take consistent work. I have to sit here every day and think of a topic where I can bring to you guys. Some days I have topics, some days I might not. But guess what I have to do? I have to be sitting around and thinking of ideas. Thinking is working too. Why do you think majority of people don't do it? It takes a lot of thinking. It takes a lot of work to think. It takes a lot of work to think, to sit there and actually go, okay, what do I need to do to achieve this goal? You got to come up with about 100 ideas. Most people will stop at one, and if that don't work, they abandon it. You got to continue to work your process. You got to continue whatever you're doing. You got to treat it like the gym. You got to treat it like your job. You go to your job every day, don't you? To make money. It's the same way when you do something on the side. Every side hustle works, but it's just some people willing. If I go right now and I'm selling TVs, right? And I go knock on every door consistently from here to Killeen every month, and I don't care about what no one says, how many people slam doors in my face, how many people tell me no. You cannot tell me that I will not find one, maybe even a bunch of people to buy that one television. Because you know why? Because I'm putting in the work. Somebody out there needs something. That's why everything is sold. Everything is sold in America because everybody needs something. But I'm just saying that to say that you got to put in that work in order to get to that destination. No one ever becomes anything overnight, and we want to skip the work. We see what everybody's doing. We see them at their pinnacle, but one thing we don't see is the work. I'm in the business with entertainers all the time, and they just want to go from being an independent artist to being Drake, but you ain't seen the Drake work. People want to start big time businesses. Guess what you ain't seen? You ain't seen the work. You ain't seen the blood, sweat, and tears in the middle of the night. You ain't seen that staying up late and being frustrated. You ain't seen the having employees stealing from you. You ain't seen none of that stuff. All you see is the triumph. And that's most of our problems. That's what we want to start at, the triumph, without doing the work. And it's never going to work that way. That's not the way life is designed. The universe is not designed to reward lazy people. You got to think about it. A lot of people say billionaires are lazy. And, you know, you can have your opinion on it. But in order to be a billionaire, you have to serve a bunch of clientele. You have to be involved with a lot of companies and stakes and stocks and stuff like that. Real estate, stuff like that. You can't just be a billionaire by yourself. Somebody's spending money with you. It's a lot of work compared to the average person that wants to get paid $10 million to sit on the couch. I wonder how many people would enter a competition like that if they could win $1,000 for sleeping on the couch all day. I guarantee it will be brothers out here competing because that's easy to do. It's easier to do than to sit here and discipline yourself and do a YouTube video and you not knowing what's going to come from this. It takes a lot to do this. It doesn't take anything to just sit there and be lazy. That's why so many people do it. You got two sides. You got the poverty side that leads down to misery, and you got the rich side. But at least if you get over to the rich side, then you'll have rich people problems. Sugar Shane once said one time, I'd rather cry in my mansion than cry in a little slums. And I'm with him on that. You got to pick the two hards. What are you going to do? Are you going to sit there and be lazy and let people keep telling you what to do with your life and let people keep telling you what direction to go in and let your job tell you what to do and you can't even stand being there? Or are you going to put in that work? What you going to do? Because you got two options. Only two. You can stay where you at or you can go to the other side. And if you choose to complain, you stay the same. If you complain, you stay the same. That's the way that it's going to go. No one's coming to save you. The only thing that's going to save you is the work that you produce in this world. That's the only thing that's going to save you. No one's going to care for you the way you care for you. No one's going to care for your kids the way you care for your kids. So why are you not going to put in the work? What else are you going to do? Most people, that's why most people getting in trouble because they don't got no work to do. Once they get off work, guess what they do? They say, it's the weekend, I ain't doing nothing. Next thing you know, I'm going to get drunk. And then next thing you know, I'm going to go to the club. I'm going to drive home. Next thing you know, I get a DUI, get in a fight. You know, somebody there and some beef and start. I get shot. And this is not me saying don't go out. But I'm saying you need to fill your time with things that are going to help you get towards a goal that you want. And now is the time to start thinking about it. Because if we don't think about it today and we don't think about what we can do today and the work we can put in to now to have the future that we have, to have the, you know, the future that we need to get to, then what are we doing? What are we doing not working? If we're not where we want to be at, should we Should we be working? Absolutely. Should we be tired? Yes. Get some sleep. But guess what? Until you get where you need to go, sleep need to be your last priority. Not saying that you don't have to get any sleep, like get 6 to 8 hours. But when you wake up, make sure you wake up with things to work towards, and not only just going to your job, but how you plan to exit from that job. I don't understand what makes people work for businesses for so long, but it doesn't make them want to, figure out what it takes to own it. You work at a Verizon store, well then figure out everything you need to know to be the manager and eventually a co-partner or something like that. Don't work at the job and then not work on something, getting higher in it or something like that. Don't do that. But if you don't want to be at the job, work on something on the side. But money is only gonna come to those that work. You're never gonna make money and not have to do any work. That does not exist. I remember a guy said he wanted a job that paid $1,000 an hour. There's jobs out there to do that. But guess what? You're going to have to work for it. And you're going to have to prove yourself that you're the best and that they should pay you $1,000. Ain't nobody going to. Would you pay somebody $1,000 a month or an hour that didn't offer any value? Think about it. Now, if they were bringing you business after business after business and they were making you more than that, then obviously you would pay them $1,000 an hour. But ain't nobody paying nobody that don't got no credentials no $1,000 an hour. That's not how it works. Because in order to get that, you have to work. And it can be done. You know how? I don't know about $1,000 an hour. I've never heard anybody making that, but I'm sure it's possible. I'm sure it's somebody doing it. But I have heard of getting paid thousands and show a month. I have heard about things like that. I'm trying to tell you, like, they are paying for things out here, but you got to put in the work in order to get it. The money is waiting on you to put in the work. You sitting there thinking you got a money problem. No, you got a skill problem and a work ethic problem. You find you a skill, you learn it, you bust your tail at it, you practice on it, and you keep doing it. And guess what? They will pay you for it. They pay people for crazy stuff today. So I know if you're doing something worthwhile, it's always going to be needed on planet Earth. But guess what you're not going to do? You're not going to do nothing and get paid. You know what people do? The people that don't do nothing in this world, they get overlooked constantly. And the people put in the work get the recognition. And that's how it's always going to go. The people that do absolutely nothing will not be remembered in history. I ain't saying they won't be remembered by their family. I'm not saying that they won't be remembered by their community. I'm not saying that they will not be remembered by the church or anything like that. They will not be remembered by the world. And if your goal is not to change the world, then you don't need to be listening to my content. Because I want people that want to change the world. And we can only do that through work, through offering services or products that add value, through giving of ourselves so other people can, like selfless service is what they call it in the military. You put your life down so other people can live. I'm doing this for me, but at the same time, I know it's people out there that's just like me. It's people out there that know they got, a higher potential, a higher ceiling. And they just waiting on me to get there and deliver this message to them. And those are the people that I'm striving to get here on this channel so they can spread the message. Now, I just want to say this. It ain't going to come unless you put in the work. So, you know how we do it. Let's look in the mirror. And let's say from today on, I ain't going to make no more excuses. I understand now that without the work, nothing's ever going to happen. Without me having something to strive for, no reward will ever come. Without any goals, my bank account or none of that stuff will ever grow. So it's time to start working. It's time to start getting on a blueprint. Then turn the blueprint into a building. Then start building on that building. Next thing you know, you done worked yourself up to a skyscraper. And guess what? Once you build it, no one can take it from you. So, y'all know the motto. No distractions until rich. Thank y'all for listening to the Brian Wright Radio Show. Level up.